Alfred is horny. He can't control his urges, so eventually he opens up his computer and busts a quick one. After being his meat, Alfred has a guilt trip. Alfred's on day one again. Alfred wants to watch more. However, Alfred is so tired after busting a nut, he can't move. Chad can't recall the last time he watched porn. Unlike Alfred, Chad actually spends his time on good habits.
Bro, you have failed NoNut November already. It's the first day. Well, actually, the second day.
Stupid.
But, bro, it's the second day of NoNut November and you failed.
I'ma have it one day. One day. We gon' get it one day.
How did you fail, bro? Come on, shame on you, man. Why'd you have to use the Jergens? Come on, bro. I expect better from you. Throw away this nasty Jergens bottle with all your jizz on it, bro, and come watch this video so I can explain to you why you relapsed.
Hey, yo!
Hey bro, let me tell you a story really quick. I was struggling with NoFap for years, and finally I came across the legendary streak. And this was the best streak I ever had. I went 30 days clean, bro. 30 days clean. And I was gonna go more. I was gonna go to 90. And you wanna know what happened? I was on YouTube. I was scrolling on YouTube, just, you know, looking for some self-improvement videos, right, bro? And then I stumbled across the biggest ass I've ever seen in the past 30 days. And then all of a sudden, it like overstimulated, and I was like, oh my god, it's ass. I haven't seen ass in forever, oh my god. And so then I got crazy, and then that made me do devious things, bro. That made me do devious things. And then I became a very down bad monkey, bro. And this was supposed to be the streak. This was supposed to be the 30-day streak. After I did those devious things, then I was hit with the guilt. And literally after I relapsed, after I had that Super Saiyan moment, after that monkey moment, I had a guilt feeling. And I started to feel guilty, I started to feel lethargic, and I was feeling sad, bro. And I went 30 days, that was the longest I've ever went. And then I had the guilt feeling. And that's by far one of the worst feelings you could have, because it's just disappointment, sadness, and you just know you could do way better. And you're just pissed off with yourself, and then you hate your younger self for doing that shit, bro. That is so annoying. And that's exactly the feeling I had. And then I'm hit with this guilt feeling, and I just full of hatred for myself, and I'm just like, why did I do that? Why did I freaking go on the hub and, you know, like a monkey? Why'd I go ham? Why'd I go Super Saiyan? Why'd I go, oh my god? And after I relapsed, I was laying in bed with wet underwear, the most nasty feeling ever. I felt lethargic, and I didn't feel like doing shit. And then I had that guilty disappointment feeling, and I felt like shit. And I then went to sleep. I didn't do anything productive, bro. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how you don't end up like me. And it's not really my fault, but yes, it was. Self-control, like, that's a thing, bro. But the thing is, it's these asshole YouTubers that's the problem. And it's the people in our community and in our daily life that make this seem like a normal thing, even though it's not. There's people that freaking back in the day used to normalize cigarettes and smoking, and then they found out it was leading them to cancer and leading them to death, and they still normalize it. You know why? Because this community that we live in is full of losers. And bro, I need you to stand out. So today I'm gonna give you a bunch of reasons and ways why you relapsed and how you could prevent yourself from relapsing. Let's go, bro. The first step to how you're not gonna relapse ever on NoFap again, bro, and keeping you accountable, is you should not be giving yourself this identity that you fab. And instead of saying you're on NoFap, and you're on day whatever, day XYZ, instead of saying that, just say, I don't fab. And just think to yourself, I don't fab, I don't need to fab, and I don't need a fab whatsoever. And instead of just saying, oh, I'm on day this, streak, I'm on streak whatever, I'm on day whatever, I'm going strong, guys, I'm on day 2, let's go, guys. When you give yourself streaks, then it just gives you the identity that you're on NoFap, and that you're still a loser actually, and you're just trying to quit. The real reason is because when you identify yourself with something that like has to do with you, that is still a loser, and you're still part of it, and you're trying to quit, and you just have these affirmations that you're thinking, oh, I'm trying to quit this, I'm trying to not do this, then it's going to be harder for you to actually retain yourself and to stop doing it. So give yourself the affirmations that you are not a fabber, you don't fab. Of course, don't say this in public, bro. Don't tell people about this because it'll seem weird. But just think to yourself, I don't fab, I don't need a fab, and I don't like fabbing. Just give yourself those affirmations, and that will help you way better next time when you have a temptation. It talks about this in the book Atomic Habits, and I could quite agree with this, and so is Hamza Ahmed. He really talks about this sometimes in his NoFap videos, and I completely agree with it. And that's because if you give yourself this identity that you're trying to quit, then you're never gonna quit. If you give yourself the identity that you are that person, you are that person that doesn't do that bad habit, then you're gonna start acting like that person. You're gonna start copying that person's success. You're gonna start copying that person's habits. You're gonna start copying that person's routines. But when you give yourself this affirmation that you're a loser, and you give yourself this affirmation that you are a fabber, then you're gonna think to yourself that, oh, I'm still a fabber, I'm still trying to quit, I'm on day whatever. But instead, if you say, I don't fab, I don't beat my meat, then you're gonna start acting like the person who doesn't beat their meat, and act like an actual Chad that doesn't need to beat their meat. When I did boxing a couple years ago, when I first started, I used to think to myself that I was a complete idiot when it came to boxing, and I thought I didn't know anything, and I gave myself the affirmations that I was never gonna become something big, and I was always struggling to do good habits in the gym. I was struggling to eat clean. I was struggling to go to bed on time. I was playing video games still, and I was always having that sleepy, deprived feeling, and I was always feeling gloomy and depressed because I had so much dopamine, and I had consumed too much dopamine from all these stimulating activities. And I gave myself this identity that I'm a loser, I'm completely an idiot, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not a boxer, I don't know how to fight. And when I gave myself these affirmations, then I started to actually act worse, and I started to perform worse in sparring. I started getting my ass beat even worse, and less people started respecting me because of it. But then once I started actually thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna become this, I am this professional fighter, I am Floyd Mayweather, I am the greatest of all time. Of course, it sounds delusional, but then once you start saying that to yourself, and once you start actually like affirmating yourself and reminding yourself that you are this person, then you're gonna act like them, and you're gonna copy their habits. And when I said to myself, oh yeah, I am like Floyd Mayweather, I am the best boxer of all time, then I started copying his training routines. I started being disciplined. I started going to bed on time. I consumed less dopamine. I started eating cleaner. I lost weight. All it is in your fucking head, bro. You gotta give yourself the right affirmations, and if you don't, then you're gonna end up stuck on the same path you've been stuck on forever. So you need to change the identity that you are a loser, and instead make yourself have an identity that you are a winner, and that you work hard, and that you are whatever that you're trying to achieve. And then you'll start to copy that person you look up to and then you'll actually like make a lot of progress, and you guys will notice this. Reason 2, this is related to the previous reason, but basically don't count streaks on NoFap. And the reason this is because when you count streaks, then you start to identify yourself as someone that is trying to quit. You are identifying yourself as someone that is on NoFap. And usually when you say NoFap or you think of NoFap, you think of someone who's trying to like attempt a certain amount of time without relapsing or beating their meat like a little monkey, right, bro? So the real good thing to do instead of counting streaks is to literally just live like a normal life. Don't make it like this thing that's on a pedestal, because when you do, then it's gonna seem harder to do, and then you'll actually start to think less of it as a challenge and more of it is just normal, like, oh yeah, I don't fab. And you'll make so much more success instead of just counting your days and thinking, oh, I'm on day 5, right? Yeah, I have a relapse. I'm good, right? Yeah. No one could tell me otherwise. Whatever, who gives a fuck? That's fucking stupid. You're just gonna think about every single hour that you are on NoFap. Then you're really like giving yourself the identity that you're trying to quit, and you're giving yourself the identity that you're still stuck in the past and you're still trying to quit, instead of giving yourself the identity that you are someone who doesn't do this and you're just a complete normal person who doesn't even think NoFap is a thing. You just don't fab in general. And a way I could relate to this reason is because when I was younger, I used to always make streaks like my main thing, and I used to flex on myself like my younger self. It was pretty cringe, but I was like, yeah, I'm on day 6, guys. I'm on day 6, Valentino. Let's go. I'm so proud of myself. Big hooray, let's go. And I was like actually still a loser. I still consumed adult content after like failing my streak, and I still did dumb habits, and I still ate junk food, and I was still a loser. And basically I like never really gave myself the affirmations that like I'm actually a winner, and that I am a hard worker, and that I am this person that I look up to, instead of just thinking of my old loser ass, fat ass, ugly ass self. I would always like sexualize these women like that I would see in person too. It was pretty disgusting, honestly. Like I was just full of lust, and I was just full of like lust and disgusting like thoughts and dirty thoughts all the time. It was just bad, and I was like a little horny monkey. And you know, when you're a teenager going through puberty, then that's like all you're thinking about. That's like, yes, that's what I need. I need the ass, I need the butt cheeks. That's like on your mind 24/7, and like your hormones are going through the roof, and it's just hard. So when I was younger, it was just hard for me because I would see women online, and it would definitely affect like how I acted, and then I would start to like get really like dirty thoughts whenever I would see them, and then I would eventually end up relapsing like how I did in my personal story that I discussed in the beginning of the video. Now the third and last reason that I'll be talking about today is just to forgive yourself and to move on and to just carry on with life. Don't make it such a big deal that I relapsed and that, oh, I'm on day 0 now. I feel so depressed, man. Don't like completely think about it. Like, of course, you could be a little disappointed. It's natural. It happens to all of us. But just forgive yourself and move on. Tell yourself, hey, I forgive you, bro. Respect, and then just move on with your life. Because the more you hold on to this, then the more you're gonna get disappointed, and the worse it's gonna affect you, and the more stress it's gonna cause you to like wanna do it again. And it's a weird thing that you may not realize or think about, but when you stress about something like a habit that you keep failing on, then when you like trash talk yourself or you're like a bitch to yourself, then basically like you start to stress yourself into doing that action more for some reason. And I believe that's because like you're stressing yourself out to like want to cope using that specific habit again. And you'll realize next time if you do trash talk yourself after you relapse, and hopefully you don't, bro. I hope you don't, but if you do, then you're gonna realize that if you do trash talk yourself, you're gonna probably end up in another relapse. So just forgive yourself. So just move on, forgive yourself. Because when I was a teenager, I'm still in my teenage years right now, but when I was younger in my teenage years, then I was always disappointed and feeling guilty about the relapse, and I always felt like so gloomy and depressed for the whole day, and it would fuck up my day just because of a little relapse. I mean, it's pretty serious, NoFap, and like beating your meat like a little monkey, but it's just, why think about it so much? Just move on. And I used to hate myself for like always being obsessed over the thought of NoFap and that I failed, and that also it would like make my day worse, and I would start to get very like depressed, and I would start to have like these limiting beliefs that I'll never like make it far in NoFap, and that I will never like surpass like a certain amount of days. I'll be stuck on this amount of days for a long time. And then it just started to hurt me. And then I would end up watching more Lana Rhoades, or I would end up watching more Abella Danger on, you know what it is. But I would end up relapsing even more because I would just guilt myself into like wanting more pleasure for myself, because I would end up just feeling even more disappointed in myself for like talking shit to myself about it. And there was a specific time when I relapsed on NoFap, and then I literally thought about it for the whole day, and then I was hit with guilt and really like a lot of anxiety throughout the whole day. And what was going through my mind was literally, oh, you're never gonna make it far in NoFap, and you're always gonna be a loser, jerking off like a little monkey. And I was just having those limiting beliefs, and it was affecting me throughout my day. And I would literally go down and eat downstairs with my parents and have a little family breakfast, and while they were talking to me, I wasn't even present. I was thinking about this shit in my head, like, oh, why'd I beat off to Lana Rhoades, or why'd I beat off to Abella Danger, why'd I do this? I was literally thinking in my own head while my parents were asking me like how I slept and what we're gonna do today, and just talking to me, and I wasn't even present. I remember this specifically. It was around Thanksgiving time, and this was on break. This was on school break, so I had so much free time, and I got bored, and I was tempted to fab even more. So it just messed up like my life even more, and I was just fucked up. And plus, like, I felt lonely around the holidays, and I just wanted like to feel like not so lonely, and I wanted to feel pleasure as a little teenager that was an absolute monkey when beating his meat. Like, that was so weird, and I'm glad I finally moved on past that stage, and I'm glad like I don't have to deal with that anymore, and I hope you can as well, bro. Now, don't feel disappointed if you do relapse. Just remember to forgive yourself, and you'll be fine. And remember, give yourself those positive affirmations, because if you don't, then you're gonna end up fucked up. And don't let me give you positive affirmations. I'm supposed to give you encouragement to work hard. And without further ado, bro, I'll see you in the next video. Whoop-ow, whoop-ow.